Nancy,
What?
is it dark outside? Is it cloudy?
It's cloudy, it's overcast.
Okay. O'Reilly.
You need another pot?
Yes.
I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network. 47,000 more Ohioans receive.
It's almost completely correct.
is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
Hello everyone, from the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your Thursday. A mix of sun and clouds, a daytime high of 54. Overnight low of 41 under mostly cloudy skies, mostly cloudy conditions for your Friday as well, with temperatures in the low 50s. Have yourself a great day everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
You're early.
Roger that.
It's Thursday.
Why even call it Thursday? Problem? We have pizza on Thursday.
Listen, please, quiet down.
Here's a complete disc jockey show with all the modern pace of today's exciting radio.
Good morning. Let's get started.
Seriously, let's go.
It's showtime.
News, information, conversation, controversy, and fun. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Ah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Actually, it's not. It's 44 degrees and cloudy outside at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport here at my home studios and at the Robinson Autograph Studios downtown Wheeling. In the heart of the Ohio Valley, we look for gray skies and spotty showers throughout the day today. Temperatures only into the upper 40s, very low 50s today. So a lot cooler as we head into the midpoint of April this morning. You know what struck me as I was just typing some things into my computer, Biffy? Today's tax day.
Yeah, normally it would be.
Yeah, I mean, the minute that it was announced by the IRS and then followed up in West Virginia by the state tax department that tax deadline day wasn't until May 15th this year, as they had done it last year. The minute they announced it was like, tax day went out of my head, completely out of my head. I haven't even been thinking about taxes. And I just started writing it down here on the sheet this morning, get ready for the show. And wait a minute, today's April 15th. Today's tax day, except it's not. Don't panic. Don't panic. Now, if you have quarterly taxes due, I'm not an accountant, nor do I really play one on the radio, but I'll put my accountant out. I believe if you have quarterly taxes due, you still have to hit them today on the 15th. Or if you think you're going to have quarterly taxes due, you pay them on the 15th. But have you done your taxes yet?
No.
I keep a folder, at the beginning of the year, everything comes in, the W-2s and all the stuff, and, I throw all my stuff into a little folder that says taxes. So I got the folder. That's all I've got. So get ready. So don't forget, you got 1 month left, but, maybe you should. And think how that stretches out the accountants' work, too. Maybe it's good. Maybe they have a lot more time to work on things, but I'm guessing that everybody, whether it's April 15th or May 15th, everybody waits still to the last minute to file, right?
Well, and I wonder how many actually did them early.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but I'm just thinking that probably accountants in the accounting world, April the 16th is like, yay, holiday begins. No, one more month to wait. 7:12 in the morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Yesterday, I had for you a survey about recreational marijuana use in this country, and it was over 60%, 62%, I believe, of everybody in America supports legalizing recreational marijuana. And when it was broken down by age groups, every single age group, under 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, however they broke, every single age group, including 65 plus, old folks like me, including 65 plus, every age group said yes, legalizing marijuana. In recent weeks, New York, Virginia, New Jersey have legalized recreational marijuana for adults. 4 other states likely to join soon. West Virginia had talked about it. I don't know if we'll ever do it, but even the supermajority House, the supermajority Republican House this year, did some numbers crunching on how much money we might get from recreational marijuana, something our old friend, the puppet master, Sean Fluharty, has been pushing for a long time. Even the federal government talking about, maybe legalizing marijuana. So in light of all of that, plus infamous pot day 420 coming up pretty soon, came across a survey about the best cities to get high in America. I assume this is legally. The best cities to get stoned. What do you think is number 1, Biffy?
Denver, Colorado.
Ding, 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 ding. Give the boy a Dewey button. Denver, Colorado is ranked number 1. It is the Mile High City. Takes on a whole new meaning when we talk about getting stoned. The Mile High City. America's pot capital, if you will. Colorado leads the nation in recreational cannabis reform. They did theirs back in 2012. So they were the pioneer, if you will. And it really has its advantages. I mean, Colorado was making a ton of money off of legalized recreational marijuana. And Denver dominates this list of 20 cities they look at a number of different categories. They actually researched this. And one of the things they looked at was social environment. There are more than 420 friendly lodging establishments and social consumption lounges, pot lounges. Well, I never thought about that. So I guess we have bars where you go and have a cocktail. I guess they have like bars where you go and just smoke dope. Huh. Now, one thing they're short in compared to some other cities, even though they're number 1 in this ranking, Denver does not have as many dispensaries and head shops as other cities on this list. Denver, number 1. Los Angeles is number 2. San Fran is number 3, so obviously California pretty heavy there. Let me just jump around here. Las Vegas is number 10. Portland, Oregon, number 9 on best cities to get stoned in. Most of the rest of these are California. Santa Ana, Pasadena, Huntington Beach, Anaheim, California, and number 20 on the list of the top 20, Worcester, Maine. Are they legalized in Maine? Or is this a happy city?
Maybe it's just a happy city.
I don't know. Anyways, I just thought it was interesting, particularly in light of the survey we just talked about yesterday, where most Americans are saying they are supportive of legalizing marijuana. And in West Virginia, as I said, even the even the super-majority controlled House looked at the revenue they could get from legalizing pot. And you know what, Biffy? I think when the legalization of marijuana begins to spread a little more fast around the states, it'll be because of money. Not because it's the right thing to do, not because of the social environment, it'll be because states are going to look and go, wow, look at the money that can be made off of this. Always comes down to the money, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, it does. It rules everything.
Money rules. The ka-ching is king, as I like to say. Actually, I've never said it before in my life. But I may say that from now on. The ka-ching is king. 7:17 Watchdog Morning Show for a Thursday. Now, what's coming up today on the show? Biffy apparently listening to the Watchdog radio station, and in particular to Your Wheeling, no two ways about it, with Wheeling Mayor Glenn Elliott and Vice Mayor Chad Thalman. Apparently, you get better info about what's happening in the city of Wheeling by listening to the radio show right here than you do from attending Wheeling City Council meetings. Because I was listening to the mayor's show yesterday, and I heard several things like, really? Never heard that. Never heard that before. I made notes. I got a few notes that came out of yesterday's Your Wheeling, No Two Way About It show here on the Watchdog Radio Network, and I'll share those with you coming up in just a bit. West Virginia, we've talked about now for several days, is experimenting with paying people to move here and to work from West Virginia remotely. I think it's $12,000 cash, $8,000 in coupons. Okay? For outdoor whitewater rafting and hiking and climbing and all that kind of stuff. The program is called Ascend West Virginia, funded by the Brad Ellis Smith Foundation guy from Intuit. $25 million funding in that. But a couple of national publications I came across yesterday say this idea is absolutely bonkers, foolish, ridiculous. I'll share a few thoughts on the negative side of things with you coming up in a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, here in Wheeling, the Wheeling Heritage Group is mounting their own efforts to attract new people by pushing our friendly city's quality of life. They're doing it through the WeLunk online site, where they are offering lots of good information about the city and, real estate help and so on and so forth. We're going to talk to the executive director of Wheeling Heritage, Alex Weld, about that a little bit later on this morning. In headlines you'll hear coming up in a minute or two, you'll catch the story about a Marshall County sex offender set free after 3 years of his 50-plus year sentence, because the judge says the grand jury essentially had been given improper foundation when the case was first brought. And so he has released this sex offender. A lot of talk about that in the community, and we'll get into that a little bit here as well. As the economy begins a rebound, a lot of businesses are having a hard time hiring good help. We've talked about that before. But I'm wondering, and Walmart now is getting into the action saying we're going to have a tough time keeping people. Is an unintended consequence of the pandemic a realization of how vital employees are and how poorly employees have been paid and treated prior to the pandemic? Now they're important. Now we're starting to pay them better. Now we're starting to offer perks and benefits. Maybe that's an unintended consequence of the pandemic. We'll talk about that later on. Should the District of Columbia be given statehood status? Attorney General Patrick Morrissey wants to sue against that idea. We will talk with our newest political analyst and podcast creator, Matt Robeson, to talk about D.C. statehood coming up a little bit later on this morning. So that's some of what I've got. Whatever you have on your mind, you can text me, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600. Straight ahead, though, a couple of items I picked up by listening to Your Wheeling, no two ways about it, here on the Watchdog Radio Network yesterday. I'll share a couple of quickie notes I found. If you missed the mayor's show, I got a little info for you about what they had to say. That's coming up next on the Watchdog Morning Show for a Thursday.
This is Bill DeFeo.
go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
It's time we put a stop to a few things. Right now, the D.C. establishment has all the power. The For the People Act will stop that. Billionaires buying West Virginia's elections? The For the People Act will stop that. Politicians and their families getting rich while we pay for it? Yep. The For the People Act will stop that too. Senator Manchin, you've always had West Virginia's back. Don't stop now. Stop corruption in its tracks and support the For the People Act, paid for by Represent Us. It's time we put a stop to a few things. Americans voting on machines that aren't made in America? The For the People Act will stop that. States using hackable voting machines with no paper trail? The For the People Act will stop that. Elections with no way to do careful audits or recounts by hand? Yep, the For the People Act will stop that too. Senator Manchin, you've always had West Virginia's back. Don't stop now. Stop election interference and support the For the People Act, paid for by Represent Us.
Bethlehem. The Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Bethlehem trusts the Watchdog.
We're on air, online, on video, and on demand. Find us where you like us. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
44 degrees and cloudy at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport here at my home studios in Elm Grove and at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. 7:24 on the Thursday morning edition of the gig. I was leaving the office yesterday, heading out to lunch. I had the radio on, and Mayor Elliott and Vice Mayor Thalman were on their own radio show here on the Watchdog Network every Wednesday from noon until 1. It's your Wheeling, no two ways about it. And they had really a lot of interesting things to say. I don't want to sound like it's a big surprise, like, oh my God, they had something interesting to say. I mean, there's usually interesting stuff to say. But I heard some things that I don't think I really have ever heard before, not at a council meeting or at a committee meeting or anything of that nature. Vice Mayor Thalman indicated that they're really working aggressively with some tenant for the OVMC building. Now, the vice mayor quickly said they don't think they'll ever find a single tenant that'll take over the whole building. I mean, it's a gigantic campus. That's not going to happen. And we have heard about little bits and pieces of it. There's some nonprofit groups there. City is using some of the office space there for its own operations. And, of course, there's that quite controversial issue with Bluefield State. But I got the impression from what Mayor Elliott said that there is some other entity out there that may be looking at leasing or buying significant space in the building. That's kind of the way the vice mayor phrased it yesterday. So I'm thinking that he was very clear, not ready to make any announcement, not down to signing anything, but they are talking to, I gather, an individual, an entity of some kind. I get the sense from what the vice mayor said, more than just a couple of rooms. Somebody is looking at a big hunk of that OVMC property now owned by the city of Wheeling. I had never heard that indication before anywhere, not at council, not in committee meetings and so on. Maybe I just missed it, but I thought that was interesting. So that's number one note that I took from the Your Wheeling show, Your Wheeling No Two Ways About It show yesterday. The other thing I found interesting is the mayor and the vice mayor were talking about this downtown parking garage, Bippy, the one that, I'm putting this in air quotes because they made a point, it's not really to help Wheeling-Pittsburgh Steel building, but the one that we all think about in terms of helping Wheeling-Pittsburgh Steel building. The one that's going to be up on 10th Street. That's 11th Street. On 11th Street where the old Chase Bank building is right now. And we already know they bought that building and they're talking about turning that into a parking garage. Apparently, the plans are already drawn up for that parking garage. That's what the mayor said. He said, I've seen the plans. And they're going to be trying to put retail space in part of that parking garage. So I'd never heard that before either. Again, maybe that's been out there. Maybe it's not new information, but to me it was. The plans are drawn up, and they're going to be preserving some space in that for retail, so that you'll have, I'm assuming, first floor, you can come in and see retail and then park up above it. This is that garage that will be leased to anybody, but is kind of in tune with the William-Pittsburgh Steel Building. So that's number two. The plans are already drawn up for the downtown parking garage, and there's going to be retail space in part of that. I think that's actually a good idea. So that's item number two. Item number three, which we have heard about before, but the mayor and the vice mayor both said they're watching very closely. Biffy, this is one that's of interest to you. When bids are let for the suspension bridge, because there's a lot of concern about whether or not the Department of Highways is eventually going to open that up for real traffic again or keep it closed forever. And some of that may have to do with how high the bids come in. And of course, the city's concern is if the suspension bridge is not opened for vehicular traffic, if it only becomes a pedestrian bridge, for example, forever and ever, amen, the Department of Highways may eventually say, it's not our responsibility. We're not going to manage it. We're not going to upkeep it. We'll give it back to the city. And the mayor and vice mayor yesterday made it quite clear, hey, the city can't maintain that bridge. They don't have the funds to do that. So they're watching that bid process very carefully. Now, that wasn't brand new information, but I thought that was kind of interesting as well. And finally, there was talk yesterday on the mayor's show about more downtown housing. Just this week on the Planning Commission, on which I sit, we approved a site plan for 46 units of housing, which will be in that built in what's now the parking lot next to the Bridge Tavern, Bippy. You know, right there, you know where I'm talking about?
Yep, know what you mean.
Right across from, what's that hotel? It used to be the Riverside, Fabulous. Anyways, you all know where I'm talking about. Just as you come into the city, there's that large parking lot, and the Water Group is going to build a 4-story housing on that lot. Planning Commission this week approved the site plan for that, and I voted in favor of it, and it was a good site plan, and I've been a firm believer in downtown housing for a long time. I really have. Long before there were any of this actually happening, I was among those who said we need housing downtown, that if you get people to live downtown, retail will follow. I got to tell you, Biff, I'm reaching the point where I'm wondering, are we getting oversaturated? We have the Brewery Lofts. We have the Stone Lofts. We have multiple individual pieces of property downtown that have been turned into downtown housing. We're going to have William-Pittsburgh Steel Building as housing. Now another 46, I think it's 46, 4 floors of housing again in this new facility. And I just wonder how many people really do want to live downtown. And the corollary to that is, and the mayor and the vice mayor talked about on their show yesterday here on the Watchdog, the concept is, and again, I've been a supporter of this. I don't want this to be perceived as a negative thing. I've been a big supporter of this for 10 years. The idea is if you get people to live downtown, they're here and they walk around and then they need things. And so stores will develop, retail stores will develop, maybe little tiny grocery stores or little tiny sundry stores, more coffee shops, more what have you, will develop to accommodate these people. That's the concept. But what concerns me, Biff, is that we've seen virtually nothing like that with all the housing we've already had, right? I mean, we have had no real new retail, maybe mug shots on Main Street.
Yeah, I mean, other than that one, I mean, I really can't think of any other ones.
I can't either. There was an effort made to put a little coffee shop / deli in the Flatiron building down the southern end of right there off of 16th Street. First owner gave up on that. Another company came in, another group of people came in and ran it as a Flatiron coffee shop for a while, but they moved it to St. Clairsville. So we've been doing this now for 10 years. And I haven't seen the reality of people being downtown will bring retail downtown. I haven't seen that. I just haven't seen it. And again, I'm a supporter of it, but I don't know. Are we, and now we're going to add more. All right. And there's talk of other complexes being built as well. There's some other talk about this in the city. I'm just wondering, is it already oversaturated, and is the concept going to work? Because I haven't seen this plethora of coffee shops. I haven't seen, I guess the public market open, that's another one. I guess I should mention that, which is a grocery store, although I'm not sure how much that helps the people down. But anyway, what did I used to call that, Biffy?
The hipster hangout?
Hipster hangout. No, I called it the hipster handout in the beginning because if they were getting support from the city. That's become a pretty big place. But I just haven't seen, I just haven't seen the retail will follow housing turning into reality. Give it time. Maybe it will. But I don't know. Anyway, those are a few notes I took from the mayor's show yesterday. Some things that I think weren't really talked about in any major public forum. Which goes to show you got to listen to the mayor's show here on the Watchdog. Last couple of weeks or last couple of issues that have come up, you all know I've tried to get the mayor or the vice mayor to come on my show and talk about them, like the water and sewer rate hikes a couple weeks ago. No, we'll talk about it on our own show. So, all I can do is tell you it's appointment listening. Listen to the Watchdog every Wednesday, noon to 1. Wheeling Mayor Glenn Elliott, Vice Mayor Chad Thalman. It's your wheeling, no two ways about it. And you learn stuff there. I learned some things yesterday. 7:35, 25 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. I have learned by the reading that I do that not everybody thinks this idea of paying people to come to work in West Virginia is a good idea. A little bit later on, I will share with you some of the comments that I've seen and heard on national publications. Two headlines. Here are the headlines. I'll just two of them for you. No, $12,000 is not enough to make me move back to West Virginia. And a headline on another article, the pointlessness of bribing people to move to West Virginia. These are not positive articles, I'll tell you that right now. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Right now, let's talk about the Ohio Valley headlines, and for that, we head to our friends over at the Big 7.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now it's
Inside linebacker Vince Williams, who was released in March, is back with the team. And the team will welcome back quarterback Josh Dobbs. He's back on a one-year deal. By the way, the Pittsburgh Steelers will have 4 quarterbacks in training camp coming up in a couple of months. One of my special guests this afternoon, the star of the 1979 World Series, Kent DeColvey, will be on in the 12 o'clock hour on The Variety Show. The Rubber Band Man will make an appearance on the show. Hey, be safe out there. Please be considerate of others, and don't forget to check on the elderly. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
The Wheeling Nailers are back at it against the Fort Wayne Comets, Sunday, April 18th, puck drops 4:10. Enjoy a fun day with the Nailers and see possible future NHL stars. 65 former Nailers and Thunderbirds have already reached the NHL. Experience the 29th season of pro hockey in Wheeling. Get tickets now for the Nailers game, Sunday, April 18th at Westbanco Arena. Call 304-234-GOAL or visit WheelingNailers.com. This is Nail City.
Toyota RAV4 is the #1 selling SUV in America over the last year. Available as a hybrid and with all-wheel drive, it has the style and versatility for all your life's adventures. And through May 3rd, get up to $1,250 cash back from Toyota on select new 2021 RAV4s. Shop Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Then see your Toyota dealer. Go Toyota, and let's go places.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
U.S. taxpayer expense. Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I love living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said loving living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. This guy knows so much about sports. They based the Sports Almanac from Back to the Future off of his Dream Journal. He's Bill DeFabio, weekdays noon to 2, on the Valley's only network dedicated to live and local talk radio, The Watchdog. Adina, The Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Adina trusts the Watchdog.
Miss a part of the show? Want to hear a segment again? Check out our podcast page at watchdognetwork.com. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Text line is open, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600. Feel free to text me anytime during the course of the show. You have something you want to share with us. Hey, I said I'm not an accountant. Off the text line, not an accountant. The revised due date for taxes is May 17th, not the 15th. I said I'm not an accountant. I check the calendar. Yeah, the 15th, May 15th is a Saturday, so they bump it till Sunday. Okay, all right. Yeah, I said I wasn't an accountant. Don't do your taxes based on me. Go see an accountant. Also off the text line, talking about downtown housing, and I assume they're talking about these new houses. I think they're calling it the Marsh Wheeling Complex. They gave it a name, something like that. These new units of housing that the Planning Commission, on which I sit, will be. We approved the site plan this week. This new housing facility that will be in that surface lot now, kind of right next to the old Eagles building and the Bridge Tavern. They're going to build a 4-story complex of apartments there. Texter says probably $1,000 a month rent. It is market rate rent. It's not subsidized housing, so it could well be that. Yes, you're absolutely right. And folks always make that point. And the reality is that people are getting that rent. There are people who are happy to pay that amount of money. I don't know if that's what this is going to be or not, but it's market rate housing. It's not subsidized housing. It's not designed for low and middle income people. It's designed for those who want to have rent an apartment at market rates. So $1,000 a month, I don't know, but certainly possible. And a quick reminder off the community calendar as well. April 25th will be the day for this year's Jerry's Walk. It's going to be, again, this year a virtual walk because of COVID concerns and so on. Jerry's Walk was started a few years ago by the daughter of a dear friend of mine, Jerry Williams. Jerry committed suicide quite a few years ago now. A stunner to me and to many of us. And his daughter Sandy has said it was a stunner to her as well. And in retrospect, she's realized that we need to be more aware when people talk about killing themselves and say things, they actually might mean it. It was a horrible time for me because, again, Jerry was just a very close friend of mine, killed himself. But his daughter, in an effort to illuminate suicide awareness, Sandy has started Jerry's Walk every year, which is a way to raise money for suicide awareness. This year, it will be April the 25th, but it will be virtual, all right? So you can walk around your neighborhood, go for a run, do yoga, take a bike ride, whatever you want. Document it with a picture. Post it to your social media pages with the hashtag Jerry's Walk 2021. Make a donation, get people to support you with donations, whatever. But it is virtual this year for Jerry's Walk for suicide awareness. I always try to promote this heavily, and if you can make a contribution, I always do every year. No, I don't walk, but I do make a contribution every year because I think it's a good cause, and hey, I miss him. And that is our community calendar item. Zach Petty is here right now from the Big 7, WTRF TV. I want to say it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, Zach, but actually it's not.
It's a bit cold outside. It kind of feels like we're in that fall transition more so than a spring to summer in a sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 44, I think, the last time I checked.
Yeah, let's say mid to low 40s outside, and we actually have a wind chill. We have a little bit of a west, if not a west-northwest wind, kind of making it feel like it's in the upper 30s to low 40s throughout the Ohio Valley. So maybe think about the medium jacket, if not one of those thicker sweatshirts, and unfortunately it looks like we're going to be needing that for a good portion of the day. No 50s no 60s or 70s anytime soon. Low 50s, if not upper 40s for our high this afternoon.
Yeah, barely into the 50s, right?
Yeah, we're going to struggle to get out of the upper 40s. I was telling Biff, he better wear his thermals or get his Under Armours and such put on so that way he can stay warm outside this afternoon if he ends up going to swing the sticks over at Ogilby.
What can he look forward to, and the rest of us, in terms of rain? We're still looking at spotty showers throughout the day?
Mainly in the afternoon time. I think most of the morning.
Just right around the time Biff's going to go golfing.
Exactly. It just feels like Mother Nature's just going to kind of say, another week, maybe you'll have to dodge a couple of raindrops, Brother Biff. Unfortunately, that's going to be the case. Again, it's going to be pretty sporadic, spotty showers. Not everyone will see them, but they are likely to develop in between 4 to, let's say, 7, 8 o'clock time frame, and they could even linger on into the early stages of our Finally Friday. Good news is if we're finding positivity on a good, happy Thursday or Friday Eve, is that all of the snow activity is going to be well to our east in the ridges and up in the higher elevation.
So we don't have to worry about the S word.
No S words today, Howard.
All right, I'm happy about that. But we do have to see, we will see some rain sort of, again, really today, spotty, some during the weekend as well, yeah?
Yeah, mainly on Sunday. I think Saturday will be a relatively fair spring-like day. Temperatures return back into the upper 50s after today and tomorrow being in the lower 50s. So we'll get closer to seasonal temperatures on Saturday, a bit more mixture of clouds and sun. There could be some periods of mostly sunny skies, but we'll call it partly cloudy for most of the day Saturday. Rain activity looks to return late in the afternoon Sunday, and then we'll get back into the low 60s, and we'll keep this chance for some spotty showers likely into the beginning of the next work week.
Yeah, into the next week too. All right, so I started to say this is seasonal. This might be a little cooler than seasonal, right?
Correct, yeah. We're about 10 degrees below average. But again, you kind of always have those ups and downs in the springtime where we haven't really seen frosty cold conditions. The NWS has not started to put out the frost or hard freeze warnings just yet. Maybe in the next 2-3 weeks we'll start putting those weather headlines out. But it's definitely a bit cooler outside, especially since we've been treated to mid-50s walking out the door early on. So just kind of deal with it. It's the seasonal overnight lows, but high temperatures are certainly below average.
44 right now, cloudy skies. At least I'm looking out the window here at my home studios. It's cloudy, it's overcast, kind of a dreary looking morning, to be honest with you.
Yeah, nothing too fun. We could see maybe a sprinkle or two of sunshine, but don't expect anything. The clouds opening up and this glorious sunshine shining down on us. It's just kind of going to be, it could be a bit brighter outside, but it certainly could be a lot worse and dull. So we'll just call it mostly cloudy, not the best looking day, but one that will continue to move by, and it shouldn't be anything to keep us down in the dumps for the end of the work week. We do have the sunshine hopefully returning for the start of our weekend.
And Biff, are you still planning on golfing this evening?
Yes, we are.
All right. I'm pulling for you, pal. I want to see you hitting the links. Listen, I know you've dodged the drops before, so.
Yeah, it won't be the first, and it won't be the last time it'll happen.
All right. Have a good time there. Zach, I appreciate your time this morning. We'll talk again tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Take it easy, and we'll talk on our Finally Friday.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day. 9 before the hour, Watchdog Morning Show. Zach Petty checks in from the Big 7 every morning right around this time here on the Watchdog Morning Show. 7:51, 9 before the hour, 44 degrees. Do I need a break, Biffy? Am I okay?
You are okay.
Maybe I shouldn't ask if I'm okay, but we don't have to take a break. Let's just say that.
We'll go with that.
We have talked a good bit on this show about this idea of attracting remote workers to West Virginia. People to come here, work from here, but actually work for someplace else. Work for somebody in a bigger city, but live in West Virginia. And we kind of previewed this for you a couple of weeks ago here on the Watchdog Morning Show when Daniel Twilley from WVU was on to talk about it. And then this week, the official big announcement was made of something called Ascend West Virginia, which is the program created out of some money given by the executive from Intuit, Brad Smith, to $25 million to fund this concept of attracting workers. 3 cities were picked: Shepherdstown, Lewisburg, and Morgantown. Morgantown, the first one, officially kicked off this week. And the idea is going to be that through this funded program, we will pay people $12,000 in hard cash to come here, and then $10,000, I think I'm right about that, $8,000 in coupons and free outdoor activities. That's the concept. And if I have those numbers back, maybe it's paying them 10, and I don't know. Anyway, $20,000 total package. Now, interesting enough, Governor Justice says that in the first 2 hours, 200 people filled out the applications. And by the end of the day, 55,000 people from 38 states have filled out the application to move to West Virginia through this Ascend West Virginia program. Let me back up. The governor said 50,000 people from 38 states have asked about it. 2,000 have actually filled out the application to be considered for the program. Now, there's only 50 slots available, so that's a lot of people are going to be disappointed. Clearly there's some interest in this. I don't want to question that at all. There's clearly some interest in this. And I would love to know more about, we probably will at some point, who are these people who are applying? Where are they coming from? What's their motivation? Again, they have to stay here for 2 years. I think they get so much of this the first year and then more the second year. They're required to stay for 2 years under this program. A question I would ask is, after 2 years, what happens? Do they just go back someplace else? I don't know. The other question I ask every time we talk about this is, now it may be that Morgantown, which is the first city, has good internet and broadband access and so on, but much of West Virginia does not. So, attracting people to come to work remotely in West Virginia, Biff, when we don't have the world's best internet. In fact, to be honest, we have the 48th, 49th worst internet in the country.
Yeah, I think that's one thing we have Mississippi to thank for that.
Yeah. We had one of I forget who it was, we had on from Mountain State Spotlight who had done research into this. And yeah, we're like 48, 49, I forget the exact, but almost at the bottom, but we're not 50. I think we're 48, 49 in terms of internet access statewide. Now, the Eastern Panhandle, where Shepherdstown is, and Morgantown, yes. Lewisburg, I don't know. It's near the Greenbrier, so I'm going to assume it has good internet as well. But it's not going to expand elsewhere around the state very much if we can't get broadband there. But a bigger issue for some people, Biff, may well be the perception of this state. I came across 2 separate articles yesterday, very negative about this program and about West Virginia. One was on the website The Wonquette, under the headline, "No, $12,000 is not enough to make me move back to West Virginia." Jamie Lynn Crofts is a West Virginian who has left the state. And she's talking about this Ascend West Virginia program. She says it's a pretty cool program. And she says, and West Virginia is an incredibly beautiful place, full of nature, mountains, rivers, great hiking and camping, ... and some of the absolute worst politics in all of America. And that's what I think is going to work against this program and any such program. The kind of people who want to come to work remotely in West Virginia, yes, they're going to be the kind that are interested in outdoor activities because this is based on outdoor recreation. But they're also going to be people, I think, who have a little more progressive thinking. Are they going to want to come to a state where we're just hearing the governor signing a transgender bill? Are they going to want to come to a state where we discourage alternative fuels and encourage people to keep big supplies of coal, which is a declining industry? Are the kind of people who want to come here going to be the kind of people who look at the legislative session this last time around and say, "Wow, that's the kind of place I want to be"? The Wonquette article says reasons not to live in the Mountain State were on full display during the state's recent legislative session. Bringing more people to the state was a hot topic during the efforts to eliminate the state income tax. The GOP claimed that slashing the state budget and abolishing the income tax would bring thousands and thousands of new people to the state, because who doesn't want to live in a state with one of the most regressive tax structures in the country? That was a rhetorical question, of course. And then she runs through all of the things that happened in the legislature that were very backward-looking, I think. And then Slate magazine did an article on West Virginia and a couple other states. Other states are doing the same thing. The headline, though, is "The Pointlessness of Bribing People to Move to West Virginia for $12,000. Relocation incentives get lots of buzz, but do they work?" This article also takes a look at Ascend, West Virginia, but makes this point. If somebody is thinking about relocating to be a remote worker, they probably already have looked at places like Morgantown, where they're going to save a ton of money if they're working in D.C., as an example, and they use that as an example. A one-bedroom apartment in Morgantown goes for $675 a month. Same size apartment in D.C., Biff? $2,155 a month.
Sheesh.
So, just by moving to Morgantown, you save $10,000 a year. Now, I'm very familiar with these arguments because this is part of what brought my kids back here. When Natalie and Jason were in the Frederick, Maryland area and working in Washington, D.C., they were making a ton of money, but the expenses were dramatically high. They moved back here, kept making the same kind of money. They lived just 2 doors down from me, and they're saving a fortune. Plus, they got free babysitting now. So the article here says, look, if people are thinking about moving, they're going to look at other things. This idea of paying them $10,000 to move here is not going to be a deciding factor. I don't know whether it's going to work or not. I suppose since it's a funded program, it's worth a try. Wheeling is trying something a little bit different. We'll talk to Alex Wall from Wheeling Heritage about their efforts coming up later on. Right now it's 8 o'clock and it's time to check ABC News, which is, because I'm running late, already in progress.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Some lawmakers and
Matt Robeson at 8:10, Miffy. And Alex Weld at 9:10. I think we're calling her. Did I send you a text, an email on that? That's right. Yeah, well, all right, we'll give her a short period of time, see if she calls, and if not, then give her a call. I couldn't tell by the way she responded, and I wasn't going to get into a back and forth with her. Okay, that's right. You're right. But you have the number if we need it, right? Okie dokie. Everything else okay? All right, very good.